Historian Elizabeth Norton has written several books on the Boleyn family and knows all about Anne's journey to becoming queen.
What would it have been like for Anne growing up here?
She would have spent a lot of time with her siblings, her elder sister Mary and her younger brother George. They would have been taught their letters by the parish priest before having tutors employed when they were a bit older.
Education was a big thing here, obviously.
Absolutely. Education was particularly important to the Boleyns. Anne was renowned for being well educated, particularly she could speak French, she could read and write, and it's really that shapes her. Anne's time in France was crucial to the woman that she later became. She learnt style and grace at the French court. It was the most sophisticated in Europe. She also learnt courtly love. Anne would have learnt how to interact with men while she was in France. So when she came back to England wearing her French hoods, which showed a daring amount of hair, she stood out. Mary was later referred to by Francis of France as a very great whore and infamous above others. It looks as though she was sent home in disgrace before emerging at the English court as a mistress of Henry VIII. Anne saw that her sister was simply discarded by the king with very little to show for it, and she decided that she wanted something else. She wanted a good husband and was not going to yield to the king. Henry wanted Anne to be his mistress, something that Anne, who was looking to make a good marriage, could never allow. We know that Anne retreated back to Hever Castle. Henry VIII's love letters survive and show him pursuing her, so speaking of being struck with the dart of love. Eventually he realised he had to divorce his wife, and that led on to the long period of divorce before they could marry in 1533.
So in your opinion, Elizabeth, what do you think was the biggest influence in Anne's upbringing that shaped her life?
For Anne, it has to be France. When she returned to England at the age of around 21, she was French in all but birth. She was fluent, she had a certain grace about her. And as part of that, her father must have a great deal of the credit, because he was one who believed in her enough to send her first to Brussels and then on to France. And it's really that shapes Anne and sets her apart from all the other women at the English court.